The moment my best friend grabbed my arm, I knew something was wrong. Not because he looked angry. Not because he was trying to stop me. But because in the 15 years I had known him, I had never seen fear in his eyes. The afternoon sun hung high above the city, casting long golden reflections across parked cars and office windows. People moved around us, laughing, talking, carrying on with their ordinary lives. Yet everything around me seemed to fade into silence when he tightened his grip on my sleeve. His voice was barely above a whisper. "Don't go back to her." Those 4 words hit me harder than any shout ever could. I looked at him, confused, frustrated, exhausted from months of emotional chaos. I thought he was overreacting. I thought he didn't understand. I was wrong. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who believes in kindness and second chances, and subscribe to Lifeline Vibes for more emotional stories that stay with you long after they're over. The truth is, I had spent almost 3 years trying to convince myself that love was enough. 3 years trying to save something that kept breaking me. 3 years convincing myself that every painful moment was temporary. And 3 years ignoring the people who cared about me most. My name is Rowan Mercer, and at 29 years old, I believed I had found the woman I would spend the rest of my life with. Her name was Sienna. When we first met, she was magnetic. The kind of person who could walk into a room and instantly become the center of attention without even trying. She was confident where I was cautious. Bold where I was reserved. Exciting where I was predictable. At first, being with her felt like stepping into a brighter version of life. She pushed me out of my comfort zone. She encouraged me to take risks. She made every ordinary day feel important. For a while, I honestly believed I was the luckiest man alive. But sometimes the things that attract us to someone are the same things that eventually hurt us. The first cracks appeared slowly. Small criticisms disguised as jokes. Comments about my clothes. My job. My friends. The way I talked. The way I laughed. The things I enjoyed. Nothing seemed serious enough to argue about. So I ignored it. I told myself she was just honest. I told myself she wanted me to improve. I told myself every relationship required compromise. What I didn't realize was that compromise only works when both people are sacrificing equally. I was the only one changing. Month after month, I slowly became a stranger to myself. I stopped seeing certain friends because she didn't like them. I skipped family gatherings because she always found a reason to make me choose. I abandoned hobbies that once made me happy. Bit by bit, the life I had built before her began disappearing. Yet somehow I couldn't see it. Because every time things got bad, she became the woman I had fallen in love with all over again. She would apologize. Promise change. Cry. Hold my hand. Tell me she needed me. And every time, I stayed. The person who noticed everything long before I did was my best friend, Callum Vance. Callum and I had been friends since middle school. We survived awkward teenage years together. Failed exams together. Heartbreaks together. Family problems together. He was the kind of friend who never judged and never disappeared when life got messy. Even when I began pulling away, he stayed. Even when I canceled plans. Even when I stopped returning calls. Even when Sienna openly disliked him. He stayed. Looking back now, I realize how rare that kind of loyalty really is. The day everything changed started like any other day. Sienna and I had broken up 2 weeks earlier after another devastating argument. This time felt different. Final. For the first time in years, I had begun imagining a future without her. It wasn't easy. I missed her constantly. I missed the good memories. The dreams we had shared. The life we had planned. Loneliness has a way of editing memories. It removes the pain and leaves only the highlights. By that afternoon, I had convinced myself that maybe we deserved one more chance. Maybe this time would be different. Maybe love would finally win. I called Callum to tell him. We met outside a coffee shop during lunch. The moment I explained that Sienna wanted to talk and that I planned on going back, his expression changed. Not anger. Not disappointment. Fear. Real fear. Then he grabbed my arm and said those words. Don't go back to her. For several seconds neither of us spoke. I remember feeling defensive. I remember wanting to argue. But then I noticed something strange. His eyes looked exhausted. As if he had been carrying something heavy for a very long time. He finally told me the truth. Over the past year, while I was busy trying to save my relationship, Callum had quietly watched me disappear. He reminded me of things I had forgotten. The promotion I turned down because Sienna didn't want me traveling. The birthday party I missed for my mother. The friendships I abandoned. The confidence I lost. The constant anxiety. The endless apologies for mistakes I never actually made. Then he said something that stopped me cold. He told me he missed me. Not the version of me standing in front of him. The version that existed before. The version that laughed without checking who might be offended. The version that had dreams. The version that wasn't constantly afraid of disappointing someone. For the first time, I heard what everyone else had been seeing. And it terrified me. I left that conversation shaken. Still uncertain. Still conflicted. But unable to ignore what he had said. Instead of driving to meet Sienna immediately, I went home. The apartment felt strangely quiet. Sunlight poured through the windows. Dust floated through the air. Everything looked normal. Yet somehow everything felt different. I sat alone for hours. Thinking. Remembering. Questioning. For the first time in years, I allowed myself to examine the relationship honestly. Not the fantasy. The reality. And the reality hurt. Because beneath every beautiful memory was a painful one. Beneath every promise was disappointment. Beneath every reconciliation was another cycle waiting to begin. That evening, Sienna called repeatedly. I didn't answer. The next day she texted. Then emailed. Then showed up at my apartment. Every message sounded familiar. Apologies. Promises. Declarations of love. The same words that had always pulled me back before. But something had changed. For once, I wasn't listening with my heart alone. I was listening with my memory. And my memory finally told the truth. The hardest decision of my life wasn't leaving. It was staying gone. Anyone can walk away during a terrible moment. The real challenge comes later. When loneliness arrives. When doubt appears. When memories become selective. When your heart starts rewriting history. The following months were brutal. There is no dramatic shortcut through grief. No magical solution. No overnight transformation. Healing happened slowly. Painfully. One day at a time. I reconnected with old friends. I visited my family more often. I started exercising again. I picked up hobbies I had abandoned years earlier. At first everything felt forced. Like learning how to be myself all over again. But eventually something remarkable happened. The person I thought I had lost began returning. Little by little. Smile by smile. Day by day. The biggest surprise wasn't finding happiness. It was discovering how much happiness had been waiting for me all along. A year later, my life looked completely different. I accepted a new position at work. Moved into a brighter apartment. Started traveling. Spent weekends creating memories instead of managing conflict. Most importantly, I stopped measuring my worth through someone else's approval. One spring afternoon, Callum and I sat beside a river watching sunlight dance across the water. The same friend who had grabbed my arm a year earlier. The same friend who refused to give up on me. Neither of us talked much. We didn't need to. Some friendships grow beyond words. As we sat there, I realized something profound. Love isn't always the person you chase. Sometimes love is the person standing beside you while you chase the wrong thing. Sometimes love looks like honesty. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like someone risking your anger because they care more about your future than your approval. Callum saved me that day. Not by fighting my battles. Not by making decisions for me. But by reminding me who I was before I forgot. Years have passed since then. Life isn't perfect. No one's life is. But it is peaceful. And that peace is worth more than all the chaos I once mistook for love. I still think about that afternoon sometimes. The bright daylight. The crowded sidewalk. The hand grabbing my arm. The fear in my friend's eyes. And the sentence that changed everything. Don't go back to her. At the time, it sounded like a warning. Now I understand it was an act of love. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to Lifeline Vibes for more emotional journeys and inspiring stories.